Good Tuesday morning, night, afternoon to whoever is
Night,
listening.
afternoon.
Um, Welcome
Don't
into
know what it is. Don't know where we be.
Welcome into Auto Rhythm. I am your host today, Jamie, and we got Eli on the other side as well. So we are sorry for the little bit of delay there, a little bit. And if you heard that noise, that means I'm actually drafting some baseball too at the moment. So yeah, I'm trying to do two at one. So yeah, man, not fun.
Well, you multitask, and I'm impressed by. See, I can't multitask myself. If I got three things going on, my brain just gets all scattered. So I'm impressed. And you should let us all know who you're drafting there because
Well, I
I think
just I'm
season's
actually
coming up, man.
yep, I'm actually drafting. It's a points league on ESPN. This is my last one. I just want to do a couple more points leagues on ESPN and all that fun stuff. So I drafted O'Neal Cruz with my last pick here. So I got another pick here too, and I'm on. Actually, I should shut that off so it doesn't come up in the audio. Oh, good
They'll
God!
think this is fucking. They'll think this is ESPN or Sports Center.
Right? For sure. But anyways, today we are actually going to be talking about some NFC wide receivers. We ranked those. If you didn't catch our last show, we did the AFC side, which was kind of fun. We had Chad. We had Chad with us as well. Um, so that was kind of fun. It always makes for an interesting show when Chad's here as well. That's always fun. And then I got a little something. I also did a little something this morning too as well. So I didn't really do it really too many graphics. I was up way, 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 way too late today, and just doing some other random baseball stuff too as well. And I did a little thing this morning that we're gonna do maybe after some news, little NFL news before we actually get into our rankings. So I got something for you, Eli, to have fun with. I kind of, I think this would be kind of fun.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's
Yep.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Tarzan. Ah. Oh.
Uh, what? No ramping of news today, or no, nothing. Usually you're all
Honestly, man,
talkative and
I'll be honest. There wasn't shit to. I mean, there's not a lot of NFL stuff like fantasy wise. I mean, Lamar's still, kind of in limbo right now. The
yeah,
same teams are interested that have been interested. Colts and I guess the Vikings are a dark horse and a couple other Titans. But yeah, if that's going to happen, I think it would probably end up being the Colts. So if within the next couple weeks, possibly, before the draft, and Aaron Rodgers, he's still dicking around, probably still locked away in the dark, thinking about things, and I think it'll be a stalemate probably until the draft. So we'll probably have another month of this Aaron Rodgers stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of NFL stuff. I mean, it was on like Friday, like last Friday. Ravens signed Nelson Aguilar, so I kind of put that in the bottom. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
not a lot of stuff, not a lot of current stuff. Yeah, Calvin Ridley, I guess he's gonna be the number 0. NFL approved that, so players can start using 0. I think anybody besides linemen, I think offensive and defensive linemen, so punters, quarterbacks,
Oh, so
receivers.
was that in the? Because I know they had the owners meeting today or something like that, and I was actually going to take a look at what they all talked about. I had the NFL Network on and kind of passed out, slept, and then they were going to talk about all that stuff tonight. So I don't know. I was going to kind of dig it. I think there was one thing they were going to try to get away was the whole push. The whole pushing the whole push thing with quarterbacks and stuff like that. So like no more pushing to get in the end zone and stuff like that. So that's like off the boards. So no pushing. So I'm not sure how they're going to redirect all that stuff there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of still being worked on. That and some of the I think that they were trying to pass through the review on I think like quarterback. I think for roughing the quarterback, I think they were going to review that too. You know, if you could challenge that kind of thing. So
Oh, that'd be kinda
I
yeah.
think that kind of shit like that's just going to add to the game. You know, the length. I mean, yeah, you want to get it right, but you start. It's like, come on, you know, we got to move it along here. Kind of like, you know, baseball's doing that. They're scaling back their games. I mean, they're adding in elements to cut, you know, 20 minutes off a game. So the NFL is actually going the other way. I think with
Eh,
all these
I
things
mean,
all these things you can challenge now, man. It's like you're adding time onto games, and the NFL. I think I was reading somewhere in the last 20 years they've added like 5 minutes on average. It's 5 minutes longer than it was 20 years ago. So
I
you know, it's
mean,
not a good
5
trend.
5 minutes 5 minutes isn't not I mean, 5 minutes isn't as bad as an hour, per
Oh yeah,
se.
obviously,
You know, and, I was actually, talking about the games and stuff like that, I was actually, I was listening to a show this morning. It was about 20 minutes. They had Cal Ripken on, and, they talked about the pitch, they was talking about his time compared to some of it now, and I think they're trying to kinda get back to a little bit of, the high faster pace of game a little bit, which is fine, which is to me, it makes baseball a little bit more interesting instead of, it being, 3 hours or something like that, whatever it might be, so, I mean, making it 20 or 25 minutes quicker, which is, you know, gets games done, you know?
well, it has to be. I mean, we don't. It's 2023. None of us have none of us have an attention span. So, yeah, hopefully they
Yeah,
work out the kinks. Hello, guys.
yeah,
Long time.
right?
Get out of here, Jared. How many Super Bowls will the Lions win in the next 5 years? Two, Jared. Two.
Yeah, I was just gonna say too. You know, I I think the Lions are coming around. They got some good offensive weapons. Jameson Williams. They got Amon St. Brown. They just added what's his name for the running back now? I can't think of his name from the Bears.
Oh, David Montgomery.
Yes, 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 yes. So they're. Sorry, Chad. No, you said you weren't available.
What?
He wants to try.
Send the
He wants
link.
to try to hop. He wants to try to hop on with us last minute.
Oh, we should. The more.
Uh, well, since we're already over time, so I don't know. Well, maybe, but this time, it's got to be like, hey, time's up, man. But if you really want to, I guess so. Have some more entertaining. God dang it! Now you made me miss
Oh
my
man.
pick. All right, hang on, Chad.
We're all Jay. It's gonna take us like 15 minutes to get going here. So anybody watching the stream right now, you know, give us a little bit. You know, we were running a little late. You know, I got off
Well,
work
you're
a little
running.
late and just
Oh, did you?
well
Oh,
I got
well,
oh good.
you should have said. You should have told me. Hey, it's a
Oh,
little bit late.
we gotta prep every well you got yeah man we gotta prep everything. We gotta make sure everything is on point so we can you know put our stamp of approval on it. So yeah, we apologize for being a little late, but yeah, it'll take us a few minutes to get going here, and hopefully you know Chad can jump on and there he is, there he is. Oh he's back. Oh it's Chad.
What's up, guys? Sorry I'm
Yeah.
late.
Hey, what's up?
I my draft strategizing took a little longer than needed, and then the draft just started. I've just been drafting for the last 10 minutes, and I looked
Hey,
over and I'm like, "Oh, he started already."
well, hey, I'm actually in the middle of a draft right now too. So this is my last one of the year. So unfortunately, they had it start right at 7 o'clock. I'm like, well, hey guys, I'm gonna be doing my stream here. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a little drafting. So yeah,
I'm
but yeah.
lucky. Mine's a keeper league, so I had a few less picks that I need to worry about.
Gotcha. No, this one's almost done. Thank God. This is only like a 30-second timer, which is all right. I've it's points leagues on ESPN, so I mean, not too much of a big deal, but I know well, since I might have an MLB show, I'm not sure yet, but I don't know yet. Up in the air. So I'll talk
Wait,
about that.
aren't you jumping on Govier tomorrow night? You were saying?
Yeah, more than likely. He said, "Yeah, if I wanted to, sure." I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I said, I told him I got an hour to spare before work or whatever, and said, "Yeah, so it's pretty much going to be an open forum, pretty much open season. Really, just kind of talk about whatever. So that'll be fun. It's be
Oh,
about 8 o'clock.
you're jumping into Bozo Fest?
Hell yeah, man! Why not? It should be fun.
You mean like the clown, like Bozo the clown? Is that...
We said Jamie was jumping in, not you.
No, it
You know
should
what?
be
You know what, Chad? You know what you can do, Chad, and anybody else that's listening that hasn't done this quite yet. Y'all can go to the Discord. You know what? What?
Yeah.
It's Jamie's always on there. I chime in occasionally.
You need to chime in a little bit more.
A little bit more, maybe. But yeah, we got Discord going on, and you can also find when we're done with the show, find us a couple different places: Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. A couple different options, and Jamie will talk more if if that's a for sure deal about Bozo Fest. Apparently, if that's tomorrow night, or if he's going to be doing a baseball stream, Jay will let you guys know. But
Donovan and
I love your and Donovan's show, so hopefully you guys.
I think we might try to do something Thursday. We might try to do something Thursday, possibly. But it sounds like that's kind of what we might do. We weren't quite sure exactly offhand, so it was kind of up in the air yet. But other than that, I think that's what we might do. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm kind of excited for an opening season. I got to do some. So the other thing, if there's anybody that is actually into baseball and love that DFS, I actually set up a DFS kind of private league on Yahoo. It's only 15 people. It's all free, and it goes through the whole season. And goes the slates on Fridays. So if anybody wants to join, let me know. Or all the links are in the Discord, or just reach out somehow. So if anybody out there wants to jump in, more the merrier. I got 15. If there's more than 15 people, I could probably change it. But as of now, there's like 15 people. So I thought it would be kind of fun. So if you're good at DFS, come on over and let's see how you do.
I just popped my first DFS lineup of the year. FanDuel sent out a free entry into the MLB Bunt for Thursday.
So whoever wins that league, they how about this? They get to jump on the show. That'll be that's the headliner. If you win the league, you get to be on the show. How's that sound?
Does that mean if you lose the league, you're off the show?
Well, means Chad, you'll have to jump in and do the show then, right?
We'll do a game of musical chairs.
Hour long book of Eli.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
there we go.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that, man. I got plenty of content.
Oh, do you? Are you sure? Are you positive?
Oh man. Well, not regarding the NFL, but I don't know. I was gonna get Chad's opinion. Not a lot going on, but where do you think Lamar ends up, and where do you think this Aaron Rodgers thing goes through? Because those are the two main ones now. Now that Derek Carr is signed and Garoppolo signed, like a lot of these other kind of B-level guys are off the market. Where does Lamar ultimately end up, and then where is Aaron Rodgers a Jet or does he retire? So two different questions there. Just kind of get your opinion.
I'll say this: Lamar's situation could change Rodgers. Maybe if the Jets don't pan out, maybe he'd be interested in Baltimore. We don't know. I don't think it's likely, but that is something to consider.
I had heard a rumor. Well, I heard a rumor that Belichick and Robert Kraft, like the Patriots were interested, and I mean that to me, with their lack of weapons, dude, that would turn into Chicago AFC. You know what I mean? Where it's all on one guy, and Justin Fields is obviously younger and in better health than Lamar. So I don't know how that would turn out. I think Lamar is going to need some help anywhere he goes if he stays in Baltimore.
Oh, you were talking about. I thought you were talking about Rodgers. I was going to say.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Lamar there, but Rodgers going to Baltimore. Yeah, that I hadn't thought about that, but I guess I brought up the Patriots because there would be a package where it'd be like Mac Jones and a draft pick, probably like a first rounder, so like a first rounder and Mac for Lamar. And I like that deal if I'm the Ravens.
I like Lamar and Juju together is not like Juju's the kind of guy you need with Lamar.
Oh no, I mean he's okay. Question: do you think Juju's better than Hollywood Brown? Like because that was his main target. When Lamar was cranking it out a couple years ago, his main guy was Brown. Like, do you think Juju's better than?
I think last year's version of Robert Woods is better than Hollywood Brown. I think Brown's a bum. I think he's all. I think he's all ego and no talent. Which is how I've always felt.
Sounds like me. Sounds like me.
I mean, if you think about it,
he's got the legs. Don't get me wrong. He's a speed fucker, but
yeah,
he just doesn't have the work ethic.
Yeah, the only downfall is Brown's only had 1,000-yard season already, so it's kind of like, he hasn't really done so much. He hasn't really he didn't really do much.
Yeah, and the injury prone stuff is that's a different scenario.
That's right. No, Marquise, so.
Who's the nobody that randomly started popping off for the Ravens there like weeks 10, 11, 12? That was just racking up 10 catches last year.
That would have been...
Was it Duvernay? Devin Duvernay?
Yeah, that might have been.
No, it wasn't Duvernay. It was...
I know Duvernay popped like the first week of the season. He had that monster game, like 2 touchdowns and like 160 yards. He didn't do much else.
I think it had to be Duvernay, I believe, because he was only the other guy with 37. Duvernay was the only guy with 37 catches and or you're probably thinking of Likely.
No, it's not Likely.
Are you sure? The pool. Hey, I want to go. I want to come join. God damn, dude.
22 Ravens.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it had to be Duvernay. Because they didn't actually have anybody else offhand.
Oh man.
Right.
Demarcus Robinson.
He might have been, but
I guess he did.
Probably didn't. He probably didn't have that many. He probably only had didn't have that many yards. He probably had some.
No, he only had like 450. He only had 450 yards, but he had 75 targets. But they were all concentrated in like a 3-4 week span.
Yeah,
where he was just getting peppered with targets over the middle.
Remember that?
Like Juju's just an infinitely better version of that.
Right.
So I guess. My point would be, I don't think it would work in New England.
It would come down to can Belichick. Can Belichick? Who's calling the plays in New England now?
Bill O'Brien. I trust him because Bill.
I think he can.
He was calling.
I think he can make Lamar and Ramondre work.
Juju up there. Juju up there will be their number. He'll be their target. He'll have a 1,000-yard season. He might not have the touchdowns, but he'll have a 1,000-yard season.
And then to cycle back to the Lamar in general, I like that. I would love that to happen. I would love him to go anywhere. I'm really worried he somehow stays put.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna be a drawn out one. This one we probably
it won't be drawn out. We'll know probably by the draft.
I don't know about that one. I think it'll be more of a when
Because
summer
because
comes
they're not gonna
around.
they're not gonna. I mean, because they know he's gonna sit out.
I don't think he'll sit out because it's just too much money to sit out on. He's like can do a Le'Veon Bell. He won't sit out.
Yeah. He ain't. Yeah, this ain't gonna be a
That
Le'Veon Bell
was-
situation. So he's following. From what everybody's saying, like he's following the Deshaun minus, getting like 25 different sexual massages. He's following like right in Deshaun Watson's footsteps in terms of like, okay, this is how you do it. You request, hey, publicly come out and say, hey, I want to trade, or I've requested a trade. And it's going to work down the line where eventually at draft time, I think him and Rodgers are both gone. I think Rodgers is a Jet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
We'll know Roger if Rodgers isn't traded during the draft or by the draft, he's retiring.
I agree. Yep.
And if Lamar is not traded by or during the draft, he's probably either signing a deal or sitting out the year because they're not going to trade him for picks a year from now.
No, that wouldn't make any sense. I just think I think like the Colts would be a better. I don't know what they'd have to give up. I'm assuming a draft pick. I don't know if they'd have to give up a player or two. I just think the Colts would be a better landing spot. They've got better weapons. And
it's probably going to come down to the Colts have
here.
to give up. Do the Colts have to give up? Was it the 4th pick, 6th pick, something like that?
I would to give up if they're still at 4. Like I'd give that up for Lamar. I mean, who the hell else are you going to bring? I mean, C.J. Stroud. That's a gamble somewhat.
It's Stroud or Richardson, or
I don't trust Richards. Richardson he's boomer bust. I mean, he could very well end up being be like a Trey Lance situation or Jordan Love, where now you might get some dividends from Love or maybe Trey Lance a couple years, but it's like it's going to take these raw guys 3-4 years before they're where they need to be. So I don't know. I think the Colts would be like 1, 2 would be Patriots, just because Belichick and he probably wants to get another Super Bowl, kind of prove he can do without Brady before he retires. And I think 3 as a dark horse, the Titans. Like who? Like you want to throw Malik Willis out there? You want to throw another Ryan Tannehill season or some other mediocre quarterback? It's like, and all the guys that they could have gotten.
That would be perfect because he can mentor Willis because they're
same
similar,
guy,
yeah,
same dude, yeah. And Tennessee, I don't think they're in cap hell. I mean, they could afford it. They could afford it if Lamar wants 40, whatever it's. I know he wants a long-term guaranteed deal. That's kind of the it's like, hey, I'm better than Deshaun Watson. I want at least that deal. I want 5, 240, 250, or whatever that the numbers were exactly on Deshaun Watson. I want that fully guaranteed. And that's kind of the issue is like, hey, we don't want to make you the second guy because then everybody's going to be guaranteed. If these two guys who are, I mean, this isn't Mahomes we're talking about. This isn't Burrow. He's not. Lamar's not a top 5 guy in my opinion. He's a top 10 guy, and that's where Deshaun Watson is too. I think Lamar's a little better, but if these two guys at that level are getting guaranteed, and what Kyler Murray got, who I think he's a top 15. So you're giving basically guaranteed money to top 10 and top 15 guys, and not top 5 guys. I mean, just watch 20 guys within a couple of years will all have fully guaranteed deals. Like all the quarter, the upper echelon quarterbacks will all have fully guaranteed deals. Just watch. I mean, it's close now. I mean, a lot of these guys get, probably 60% of their money guaranteed, these quarterbacks, but I could see it being like everybody getting 100% within the next, 3-4 years, if that's the case. I'll see what you guys think on that, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Just to clean up, the mocks that do show like mock trades all show if the Colts do it, it's with the 4th pick, so that makes sense. And then the Ravens just take the quarterback that the Colts would have taken, so they're just treating quarterbacks.
I'm sure they probably draft. I'm sure the Ravens would. I'm sure they probably drafted quarterback in this draft. I'm sure just to have some insurance, insurance backup or whatever if anything does go south. But I mean, from what they were talking, they want. It's kind of funny because they said they were in talks with Lamar, and then they're not, and then they're trying to work out something, and then Lamar wants a trade. So I mean, you just don't know what's what the the language is there. Because Lamar's saying one thing, the Ravens are saying one thing. So it's just like, and Lamar is saying bye bye already, and he's like saying thank you to the Ravens, for Raven fans for So I mean, it seems like he just wants out. Doesn't wants nothing wants nothing to do with the Ravens. So it's kind of
We
hearsay,
should we should do like an NSYNC. We should do like an NSYNC parody song about Lamar.
right?
But you talk about that. A lot of that is the Ravens were forced to say something different because Lamar absolutely fucked them over. He dropped
Well,
that speech on Twitter like 4 minutes before John Harbaugh was supposed to go up to the thing and talk at the owners.
yeah. Well, yeah, this was yesterday. This was all yesterday, So I mean, yeah, he could. I mean, the way he's like, yeah, he was like, yeah, we love Lamar. We hope he can, be here and whatnot, So I mean, yeah, it's way totally different. They're,
Yeah,
from what.
once Lamar tweeted that, he had to say that to save face.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, they're all owners, or even all head coaches,
and obviously
like
they
that.
want him to stay.
Well, yeah,
They don't
every
want
team
it,
wants somebody to stay.
so they're not lying by that. But
No, not at all. I mean, it's just like it's just like the Cowboys here. They released they released they were just talking about Elliott. You're like, well, we love the guy, we respect the guy, but we want him to see check out the they were just talking about like Emmett Smith and DeMarco Murray. They want these guys to test the free agents free agency. If it works, it works. If not, maybe maybe he might come back with the Cowboys. It's hard saying.
and even then, the Ravens should want Lamar to take this route because they can't afford to put all that money into Lamar. They don't have the draft capital. They don't have an offense.
No, yeah, that's why they're. That's
But
why
they
they.
could
That's why they suck.
rebuild behind a rookie quarterback
Yeah, they could.
and quickly.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there. Maybe they get. Maybe they get. What's his? The kid from Kentucky.
Well, that's what I was about to say. This is
no.
where it's interesting.
He-
This is where
he's
it's
a big-
interesting.
Your butt.
I agree.
Dude, he's a bigger bust potential than Richardson. Like, I trust Richardson more than I trust Levis. Is going to be a bust. Just watch.
The problem
Somebody's gonna look real dumb drafting him. Probably like the Raiders or something in the middle of the first.
He can't be any.
the
He can't be
problem
any.
is Levis is ready now to be
Yeah.
a bust. Richardson won't be ready day one to be a bust, and they don't have any.
No. He's gonna be like Jordan Love. It's gonna take Jordan. Just watch. I mean, when our quarterback rankings come out, I'm gonna be high on him. I'm high on a couple of his Packer receivers when we go ranking. Like, I think Richardson's in that same boat. You give him a couple years, and this kid will be a diamond. But
which is why
Levis,
it's even more likely if the Ravens take Levis. If he pans out, if he booms, hey, he boomed. If he busts, then they're going for what's his name, Caleb next year.
Caleb Williams.
Yep. No, I was just gonna say it.
So worst case, you trade Lamar for Caleb Williams.
I was gonna say here is
whereas with Richardson, they just couldn't. They wouldn't be able to develop him.
Yeah. Willis
the Colts
is not even,
would behind Minshew.
Yeah. Willis couldn't be any worse than Josh Rosen being the first round bust. And then then the Cardinals drafting.
He never
Murray
got a chance.
But that's what I'm saying.
We're talking about, Chad. There's the fucking USFL. There's the XFL. There was I think he was on an AAF roster. He's been on multiple, practice squads. Chances. This guy let's just be frank here. This kid.
No, I mean at the beginning.
He stole money. He stole money from the Arizona Cardinals.
Now I say this as someone who said he was a bust on draft night.
Can't believe 5 years later we're still talking about Josh Rosen.
The Cardinals broke him. The Cardinals absolutely broke him as a human with what they did.
I think he would. I think he'd be somewhat decent if he had that opportunity and it was around a good team. Because he played well in Washington, so I mean, it's not like he wasn't bad. But I mean, just overall, if you just think about it, he drafted first round, barely played. Then now he
got dumped to Miami, was going to start, and then along came Tua.
Yep. So it's kind of like the same thing that happened with him in Arizona, in Arizona. And I think he ended up with the Browns. Now he's pretty much nowhere, so it's just kind of like,
Yeah, it's just he didn't have quite the talent to push his way back,
so
but mentally he was gone after that. After Miami said
ah,
no thanks, it was over.
so here's something. I know you really, kind of mentioned something in the Discord here, and in a different, in a Discord here, about Brock Purdy and maybe Trey Lance being, start. I mean, from what I heard right
Yeah,
now, Trent,
Purdy's a starter.
Purdy was going to be the starter, and it's, in my eyes, it's his job to lose. But if you think about it, Lance has already been in the league 3 years. He's only played 8 games already, and he's only had maybe 500, 600 yards total, 5 touchdowns in his first season. I think he played a little bit as a rookie when Jimmy was hurt, but I mean that's only little.
Yeah, that was me pointing out that everyone called me stupid for saying that 5 months ago. Not even 5 months, like 3 months ago. Purdy was going to be the starter next year. And then today they brought up the Drew Bledsoe thing. Well, he could lose the job from someone starting in his place while he's hurt. Trey Lance already is the Drew Bledsoe in that relationship. That already happened.
Yeah,
Trey Lance got hurt and he got outplayed, and he's
yeah,
done.
I know. I just don't like. Sometimes it's
Trey Lance isn't going to beat Sam Darnold out for week one.
no. Sam Darnold will be their backup. I mean,
No,
Darnold will be the third.
Darnold's a perfect Shanahan quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lance is going to be what? Hey, we already got Jameis pegged for the XFL next year. Trey, hey, dude, there is some awful quarterback play, as you can see at the bottom of the scroll there. There's 6 weeks into the season, and the 5th leading quarterback in terms of passing touchdowns is 5. So Trey Lance can't be any worse than Jack Cohen.
Well,
So we got two. That would ramp up the XFL. You got AJ McCarron, Ben DiNucci, and then you throw in Jameis and Trey Lance.
Lance will keep getting Lance will get more opportunities.
What about
Mariota?
What about Cam Newton to the XFL?
Yeah, Cam. Yeah, we'll just get all NFL flameouts or career backups. We'll just get them. New home.
So I want to play a game here real quick, and then we'll get into our rankings. So I think this will be kind of fun. Chad, you can. I did this morning. It's pretty much what it comes down to is you pick one. Your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, and wide receiver 3. So these are kind of these are all just NFC stuff. So I mean, it's not AFC wide. So this is just within the AFC or the NFC rosters. All right. So if you had within these kind of elite guys here, so who would you draft? Would you draft Jefferson, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, or Cooper Kupp for your wide receiver 1? Eli, go ahead.
JJ, no question.
Go ahead, Chad.
I was going to say you said 4 names, but all I see is Justin Jefferson's head 4 times.
So I mean, this is kind of a you're kind of your wife's your 3. If you're drafting, if it was just kind of like baseball, if it was just an NA and A or AL and NL, you had these guys to choose from, kind of thing.
Funnily enough, only 2 of these guys are in my top 5 if we do full rankings.
Yeah, go ahead, just go ahead, just pick one.
It's Jefferson, like I already did.
Okay.
When I said all 4 of them are Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson.
It's scary. It's not even close. And I love AJ Brown and CeeDee.
Yeah.
But it's like 100-point gap between them and Jefferson.
I think AJ Brown is a little bit closer because I think AJ Brown's almost as quite almost the same level as Jefferson, but Jefferson just a touch better. He's like that.
Eats too much of.
Well, both of them if you think about it, both of them, even though with the reception wise almost being the same. I actually have this written down too. So I mean, the Devontae had 15 more
95.
reception. Yeah, he had 15 more receptions. AJ Brown only had 88, but if you think about it, AJ Brown had more yards. He had 1,400 yards. So I mean, it
He was the
works.
home run ball,
Yeah,
and Devonta was the chunk yards. But so. I'm going to let you know both of them are in my top 5. I have AJ and Devonta as the NFC version of Tyreek and Waddle.
yeah.
And that's why they're 2 and 3. They'd be 2 and 3 over there if Tyreek was younger.
That's a
Jamar
damn
stays at number 1.
That's a damn good debate. Like, who's better? Like, would you rather have, if you could have 2 receivers on a team, would you want, Devontae Smith and AJ, or would you want Jalen and Tyreek? I take Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Slightly. They're slightly a better combo.
So I have AJ and Waddle.
Oh, fuck. Tyreek.
Give me that. That is like inject that into my veins.
All right. Go to the next one. All right. So your wide receiver 2, McLaurin, St. Brown, Christian Watson, or Chris Olave for your wide receiver 2.
Ooh. Okay. So we're on the same wavelength here, because when I have my rankings coming up, I have McLaurin as his tier 2, but so eliminate him. He's at the bottom end of that. Christian Watson needs one more full season of hey, I need like a 12 touchdown, 14, maybe 13, 1,400 yard season, and then he'd jump into the top 5. Obviously, Chris Olave, high on him, but he ain't the answer either. It's my main man, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think him and Jameson Williams, I think it's going to be a nice combo this year. I think Jameson Williams is going to fully be healthy. He's capable of putting up a 900-yard, 950 kind of season, and then that'll keep it. I think St. Brown can do. I think he'd do about 1250, which puts him. Was kind of low on touchdowns from what I wrote down. Only had 6 touchdowns, but if he could up that a little bit, maybe get 1,200 yards, maybe 8 or 9 touchdowns, then he's, and I think he's capable of doing that. Because he's only going to be in his 3rd year. I would take Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right, Chad, go ahead.
I was shaking my head. Let me preface this by Eli's reasoning is not terrible, but with St. Brown, you now have, unless they trade Swift, which is still very possible.
They should, absolutely.
I agree. But if they can't or they choose not to, you have 2 running backs now that are volume receivers, and you have a healthy Jameson Williams. I think, for me, St. Brown's right around 6th or 7th now, for me, as opposed to 3rd or 4th. But someone on this list is my number 2 overall wide receiver in the NFC.
He's probably got Watson.
And I won't touch Watson. Just to touch on that, we don't know the rapport between. We don't know how good he is because it's a small sample. We don't know the rapport between him and Love, and we don't know how good Love actually is. There's just too many variables.
I think I know who it is. I think I know who it is.
Scary Terry. Scary Terry's just boring. Give me Chris Olave all day, every day.
Olave,
just throwing bombs,
dude. No, I agree. He is an animal, and I'm not sure where Jay's going to have him, but yeah, I have him up in this top 5.
He has 6. Justin Jefferson attributes, and now he's got a quarterback that can give him Justin Jefferson stats.
This kid's got the goods. No, I agree.
Is there any disagreement? Is there any disagreement that Derek Carr is on Kirk Cousins' level?
He's got Derek Carr. He's got a legit NFL quarterback now. He doesn't have career backups or XFL guys throwing in the ball. I mean, he's got a legit top 15 quarterback, dishing out now.
Any disagreement that Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins are right around the same level of talent when it comes to throwing the ball?
I think they're equal.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Exactly. They're pretty close. Yeah, I mean, if they like to throw the ball down the.
Olave is going to be a monster, and I hate the Saints. I find I've found them to be cheaters. Sleazy. I don't like a lot of their players. Mike Thomas is a bum. I love Olave.
Chris Olave, will he be a top 10 wide receiver this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Bottom end of
He's
that.
right on the
Probably
fringe. He's
right on the
I have
fringe.
him high, I
About
have him
10.
right around 5'6".
Yep. I think he'll be a. I think he can be a top 10 wide receiver if it comes down to it. I would, in this one, I was kind of doing this morning because I'm like, I think I might go with McLaurin here just because I think their offense is going to be looking a little bit different this year. And McLaurin, he's been, he's kind of popped somewhat, but I think maybe this year he can actually, maybe this year, just kind of get over that hump a little bit. So I think I'm going to go with McLaurin because I think with them getting the Chiefs, offensive coordinator, I think their offense is going to look a little bit different this year. So I'm kind of want to see what happens there. So I would probably go McLaurin here.
Their offense is going to look different, but we don't
and the
know what kind of different it is. We don't know who the quarterback's going to be.
It's Sam Howell.
That's my main thing, Jay. Is I know how good Terry McLaurin is. I mean, he's the model of consistency. You might as well just mark it down 1,100 yards a season. I mean, this guy.
I'm also not sure
clockwork.
he's the alpha in that offense, though.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I know. I get that, but
I'm a big fan of Dotson.
He is consistent. He is consistent. I mean, you don't have to worry about McLaurin. He doesn't get hurt. Play 1,100 yards. Just mark it down. I just don't know if that's this level. If we were talking about receiver 3, no question. I wouldn't even take 2 seconds to think about it. McLaurin will be my guy, but at this level, I think that they're Ole and St. Brown would take over. For sure.
Yeah, because if the way I was thinking about this when I was doing these is which guys would kind of be in that wide receiver 2 category that you could possibly get as a wide receiver 1, and McLaurin would fall into that category because I mean not a lot of people will be drafting him right away from what I see, from what I would think anyways, because I mean he'll probably be a 4th or 5th round pick more than likely, so you can get him in that aspect. So that's the way I was seeing it. St. Brown maybe could be the around 4 pick more than likely because I'm sure there'll be some people liking him. So these are kind of
St. Brown will probably get overdrafted.
Yeah. So this is kind of where
year.
This is what
there is another factor with McLaurin that's understated. I don't even bring it up that much, and I love to bring up understated facts. He's in a division where he's got to face the Eagles' defense twice a year. The Giants' secondary is improving. The Cowboys' secondary is that's 6 matchups that are really rough.
Oh, most definitely.
For a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And when we're talking like the narrow numbers between McLaurin and St. Brown, those things matter.
Yeah.
In the Lavi's case, regardless of him being amazing, he gets the Panthers and the Bucks gutted defense, and the Falcons don't even have a defense.
Yeah. How are you going to stop him? I mean, but yeah, that's a good point though. Yeah, these are all. I mean, all these guys. I mean, Watson's kind of the one we all are like, kind of like I don't know so much. He's kind of still unproven at this point. The other 3 guys we all agree are at some varying level. You could argue each of those 3 guys.
All right. This will be your wide receiver 3. So you got KJ Osborne, Darius Slayton, Romeo Doubs, and Jameson Williams.
KJ Osborne, no question. He's going to take those Adam Thielen targets and make the most of them. He's going to be one of the most underrated number 2s in the league, in my opinion. He's not Waddle, he's not Devontae Smith, but he's going to be a guy you can steal in the mid rounds. I think I would KJ Osborne in a heartbeat, absolutely.
I can start with Darius Slayton's not even in contention. They have like 11 wide receivers now. I believe since the last streak, they've had 2 more on top of that, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Dobbs were in the same conversation with Watson, except we don't even know if Dobbs will get targets.
Yeah, well, I think he will. I mean, it's these 2 guys.
I love both these guys. Eli, everything Eli said is right. and then some. I think he could be.
I love you, Chad. I love you.
I think he can put Waddle numbers up. He's definitely not the athlete Waddle is. But that offense is so volume based it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I still think James. I gotta go Jameson. I gotta bank on. I said he was the best wide receiver in the class last year. I gotta stick with my guy.
Yeah, I think Jameson Williams is kind of unproven. He had one catch for a long bomb and with the touchdown right away. So, with him waiting for him to get his ACL, I think Williams is going
Preseason will be big this year.
Yeah, I think
It'll
Jameson
be the
Williams.
first time it matters in a long time.
Yeah, I think Jameson Williams will be a guy to be that probably won't be drafted unless some hype comes up and maybe hopefully he doesn't get bumped up or he's getting overdrafted. So I mean, he's a guy that could be one of your late round picks that could have some upside, going forward.
KJ Osborne is literally Gabe Davis from a year ago.
Yeah.
Except I'm way more confident that they're actually going to use the guy.
Yeah.
Unlike the Bills using Davis.
Yeah.
That's close though. I mean, that'd be a debate in itself. Like, who do you take? Do you take Gabe Davis or do you take KJ Osborne?
It's not. Davis will never be used.
But they're very close though in terms of stat, number of targets, what we can project for this season. I think they're very close.
Yeah, it's KJ Osborne. He probably will be their number 2 guy there. But if the way drafts
he was
outperforming
Jefferson down the stretch.
That's because everybody was on Jefferson. I mean, that's because Jefferson was.
But that's not going to
Guy.
change.
No.
But they were putting up 33 and 31 a week.
Well, it just goes to show that he's got talent there and he's ready. He was ready to get ready to actually come out he was actually ready to take over that number 2 role because Adam Thielen was kind of holding him back from that.
Even though I took Jameson Williams here, I'd rather have KJ Osborne in that group we just showed instead of Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I think in the Vikings offense, the number 2 guy is on par with like the 1 in Washington, like that kind of volume.
Yeah.
Because you look at Thielen's best years, that's 1,000, 1,100 yards easy.
Well, yeah, he should be,
and he's better than Thielen ever was.
Oh yeah, I mean he was just being held back. I just think that KJ will kind of fall down, in some of these, in the draft a little bit, so that he ends up being a value for somebody down the road, during the season. Because that's why I was trying to who could be some good value picks that will end up helping your team out in the long run. And I figured, KJ Osborne will probably be one. Jameson Williams, he should be hopefully another one because I actually picked him up last year in a league, hoping that he comes back, but I ended up having to drop him because I couldn't wait too much longer. So it's just one of those things, you pick him up, kind of wait, and had him on IR for a little while, but it's like, well, hopefully something comes through next year, the way I see it. But yeah, I know. I thought this was a little fun to just kind of get some perspective on some of these guys since we're all just talking about the NFC here and whatnot. So I just thought this would be a little fun game to do before we get into some of the rankings and all that good stuff. And I just know that the Giants have a lot of guys there, and at that time, Slayton was their top guy. I know they got Wandale. I know they got Sterling Shepard, and then they got Isaiah Hodgins. So I mean, they have a lot of talent there. They just don't know what to do with it yet.
I got a quick one for Eli if he's game.
Let's go.
Bring it on.
If I replace Slayton with DJ Moore,
I was thinking about putting DJ Moore up in there.
I'd have to take DJ Moore because then I'd be hypocritical with my list coming up because I've got DJ Moore higher than KJ by a couple. If we expanded, But yeah, DJ Moore, I have to take him.
Especially
I don't like
with DJ Moore. He's got so much competition.
doesn't score touchdowns, but you can. He's another guy you can bookmark for 1,000 yards. And KJ, I think KJ is going to have he could have 1,000-yard season himself, but I just have more confidence right now based on that. DJ Moore is the unquestioned number one. I mean, Claypool.
It's scary that we could put DJ Moore safely into that group, but we could also probably put him in that second group too.
Yeah, there was a lot of these. There was a lot of these guys that I kind of wanted, kind of put in these separate different groups, but when I was just looking at my kind of list that I made, it's just like, God, there's so many good players that there's only a few elite guys in that first group. Is most of those guys kind of, they're the elite guys. You could probably put Devontae in that second group as well. So I mean, there's a lot of these guys that you probably could put in that second group and third group as well. I mean, there's just a lot of them that you could do, but I just figured some of the guys that were more irrelevant, in a lot of these groups.
Yeah, no, and Slayton's he's always an interesting case because it's like, can this guy stay healthy? And Wan'Dale Robinson, his first year, got hurt. I don't know if it's a Giants thing, like these guys just all get hurt or what, but Slayton, when he's on the field, he produces.
So, yeah, Sterling Shepard kind of did the same.
He will be their number one guy as long as he puts his cleats on the field. He will be their number one guy. He will get at least 9-10 targets a game. And I can't guarantee how many games.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone can get that many targets in that offense now. They have Hodgins, Paris Campbell, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jamison Crowder, Slayton, Darren Waller.
They're all the same guy.
Crowder eats into them.
They're this. I know, but they're like the same tier of guys. There's no like Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp in that group.
But it's kind of a case of where they spread I think they're just going to spread the ball around. Everyone's going to have like 3 to 4 catches a week. Paris Campbell going to be good for fantasy.
You're not going to see Paris Campbell. That's for damn sure.
He's a guy that'll pop like week 14. He'll have some random ass 7-grab 89-yard touchdown game, and you'll be like, whoa, Paris. Because that's what they do. The Giants, though, you can't predict it. But I know
you can predict they're going to run the fuck out of Saquon. That's about it.
They'll probably do a little bit of that. And they got Waller, so they'll probably dump it off to Waller here and there too a little bit.
Everyone will have like 30 to 40 yards. One guy will have like 75. But you're playing Russian roulette, who, if anyone, gets a touchdown.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because they aren't scoring more than like 21 a game.
Yep. Oh, well, everybody.
One of those will be Danny Dimes running it in.
Yep. Well, everybody, we are actually live here on a Tuesday night. It did snow up here a little bit this morning, so let's get that chats, the comment section going a little bit more. I know there's more viewers out there, so let's get a little chatty. I mean, come on now, we're talking about the NFC here, so I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of opinions out there. Come on now, guys. But
did we touch on the big NFL news of the day before I got on?
The
Calvert Ridley's gonna be number 0. Yeah.
Well, that's part of it, but the changing the rules with the 4th down.
No, not really, because what the heck was it? I didn't get an opportunity to see all what was talked about because I was actually sleeping, so I didn't get an opportunity.
What is it, Chad?
Some of it was convoluted, but I believe I saw that conversions are now auto reviewable.
Conversions. I'll have to go back and kind of see what that's all about because
it can come down from above to review the spot instead of having to be within the 2-minute warning to do that.
Oh, so any of the 4th downs is pretty much an auto review.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's crazy. Maybe that's not a bad thing, but I mean, if somebody is like a yard away from getting it, I mean, that's just given.
I don't remember what it was, but something got voted no, the people aren't happy. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh my God, the Falcons signed a wide receiver, guys.
Oh, did they? Anybody?
Eli? They stole one of your guys.
Oh, did a
They stole away Scotty Miller.
not
Oh my,
not
oh my little buddy Scotty. He, it was good. Hey, he was a big part of that 2020 NFC title game against the Packers. Caught a huge ball. So thank you for your service, sir. I don't think it's gonna make any difference. I think he'll be like a number.
It's a good depth piece for them.
Yeah, get some depth.
It's definitely an
I mean,
upgrade over. I can't even name who their
what's his name?
number
Is
three
it Zacchaeus? Zachariah? What the?
I think he's their number 2 now.
What? What?
Falcons depth chart.
All right.
Yeah, that's. I don't think anybody needs to know about the Falcons. That's they might
Mac,
now be the worst receiving core in the league.
They have Drake London, Mac Hollins, and now Scotty Miller. I've never heard of the other 4 guys they have.
They're waiting for Caleb or Drake May, or Lamar if they end up.
There's some guy named Rashawn Henry, Frank Darby, Jared Bernhardt, and Josh Ali. Never heard of them. Not even sure they're real people.
That's an XFL. That's an XFL.
Not even an XFL. That's like the Pee Wee team.
Jesus Christ.
Like you look at the newspaper, those are the names you see in the high school game this week.
Well, and oddly enough, I don't have Drake London on my spoiler. I don't have him on my top 16 list, but maybe we should get into that, Jay.
Yeah,
want me to start out with my top 5 partner?
Yeah, I think it is time.
And Chad, jump in here.
Yeah, well, let's go from the bottom to the top.
Oh, we're gonna start with so 11 to 16. Jamie usually does 12 to 16. So, but I'll start here. I just have Devontae. Devontae's damn good, and like I said, he's gonna be 1,000-yard guy. It's just it starts to get jumbled up. That I think the top 4 above, and then 5 to you could argue 5 to 11, 5 to 12. They're kind of gets jumbled in a little bit there. Sharing targets with AJ Brown, so that's always going to cause it to be the same thing with KJ Osborne. There's only a certain level glass ceiling he's going to hit working with Jefferson. So Chris Godwin, he's a high volume guy with had 104 catches last year. I think Baker can get him and Evans the ball. So I know I have Evans over there at 15. They're kind of the twins there. I think Godwin's got a little higher ceiling. He's a little younger, and just you catch a lot of balls. So I mean that's a point per catch. So you can always mark that down. Doesn't get a lot of yards. Had just over 1,000, like 3 touchdowns. So Tyler Lockett from the Seahawks. I wasn't sure he was going to be here, and maybe he won't. Maybe he'll be traded. Who knows? Maybe at the deadline or something happens there. But for the time being, I think he's not far behind DK, but he is the number 2 guy. And I like what I saw from Geno last year, and they're bringing back Geno, and they've just got a good off. I think Seattle's going to have another good offensive season. Lockett had I think almost 1,000 yards last year. So Deebo Samuel, some people might have him a little bit lower because he does. I just combine everything. It'd be like if McCaffrey was technically he's a running back, but we can classify him as a receiver too, or a couple other guys that are kind of utility guys. So Deebo, just out of respect for what he's done, I don't like his future. I don't think he's Ayuk. I don't think he's got a bright future. But we'll kind of keep him in there for now because of what he's done for his first 3 years. But I could see a lot of injuries catching up to him. So that's definitely one that, and I'll have a couple honorable mentions here. That'd be a guy that you could take out of this 16. Mike Evans, just mentioned him. Kind of winding down towards the end. That's why I didn't put DeAndre Hopkins on my list, because I think he's towards the end as well. Mike Evans is getting up there in years. And then DJ Moore, he's the Bears' number 1 guy. We'll see. Sam Darnold, not the greatest, passer. Cam Newton towards the end was he was awful. I mean, let's be honest. So DJ Moore really hasn't been working with a higher. I mean, with a high-end quarterback. So maybe with Justin Fields, maybe Fields can finally reach his full potential, and DJ Moore can actually get some touchdowns because we know he can get yards. We know he's going to get targets, catches, all that. But if he could get 5 or 6 touchdowns, his value would almost be as high as like St. Brown from the Lions. I mean, he's that kind of volume guy. He just doesn't score touchdowns. Let's see what you guys think.
Chad's thinking.
I thought you were to go first.
No, go ahead.
Because you already had a banner for yours.
No,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
start. I'm gonna start. Godwin and Evans are not on my list anywhere. That offense is just going to be so
future. It's still Baker, though. I mean, Baker.
If it's Baker, then yes. But I trust Godwin if he's healthy. I'm sad to say this as someone who owned him for so long. I think Mike Evans is toast.
He's close. He's close.
He was invisible down the stretch.
Yeah,
I won a championship because the much better team got 1 target out of him in a game the Bucs needed to win. He was targeted once.
Don't remind me of that stuff.
I just
do you remember that game?
I do.
I think they won it, and the touchdown went to. I want to say it went to Cade.
No,
instead,
Russell Gage. Russell Gage caught it.
They 0 targets during that fourth quarter comeback. It's just insane. But my number 16 is going to blow your minds. I'm going with Curtis Samuel.
What?
I'm hoping.
What?
So much of this. Let me caveat this. It's probably not going to. He's probably going to be hurt before week 1. It's not going to matter.
You think?
A lot of my list will depend on who the quarterback is in all these places. We're going to definitely have to redo our list closer to the season because there's going to be so many changes.
Oh yeah,
but Samuel thrived so much early in the season with Wentz at quarterback when he was just peppering him with targets and short yardage plays. And now they're going to have essentially a rookie quarterback. Hal can sling the ball a little bit, but he's very much a in the middle, 8 yards downfield kind of guy at quarterback. And Samuel thrived off that and was putting up wide receiver 2 numbers early on.
That's the key. You said the key word there is when you make because this is the better half. So we do a 16 because it's an even number, but you said it right there that he had number 2 looks. He had number 2 targets early in the season. These are all number 2 guys. I mean, these are at least receiver 1, 2s. I mean, I didn't put any 3s in here. You could argue you can't really argue any of these guys are receiver 3s. I mean that's for the Jameson Williams.
I'd argue I could argue Evans and Godwin, but that's
I think they're still low end 2s, but there's especially Evans low end.
Do you have flex ahead of wide receiver 3 in value? It's they're a top end flex option for me.
Just it depends. I mean, depends. I would gun to my head, yeah. I mean, I would take the flex over the yeah, absolutely.
I don't have it I rushed. I only had 10 ready, so I kind of rushed the last few. Lockett and Metcalf. I'm not gonna put them in an order. I'm just gonna put them together at 14 and 15.
Kind of twins, yeah, twinsies.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a lot more Noah Fant this year. The second year in that offense.
Yeah, I think you kind of already seen some of that already, though. I mean, kind of some of the tight ends kind of being mixed in there a little bit. It was either, Will Disley or, Noah Fant. So, so I don't think it's going to take away a lot from Lockett and what DK Metcalf did. So I kind of see what you saw this year is probably going to be similar to what it's going to be next year. So you could probably see both these guys having almost 1,000-yard season. Walker getting 1,000-yard rushing. So you can kind of in both. So both these wide the tight ends kind of having that 400 odd couple touchdowns in their kind of season.
Also, disclaimer: I do not have Cooper Cup on my list at all. Not
Shocking.
wait. Not because of talent, because we don't. I don't know if he's definitely going to be ready for week 1.
Yeah, that too as well. I had
And I still don't know that Stafford's going to be the quarterback.
yeah,
They keep saying it, but
yeah.
calm down, Eli. It's purely because I don't know if he's ready for week 1 or not.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that Stafford is going to be the quarterback, but that's just hearsay as
But if he
of
misses a
now.
week or two to start the season, still getting back up to full speed, it just knocks him out of contention here. So I didn't want to list him. He'd be 2 or 3 probably if Stafford's healthy, and like 8 or 9 with any other quarterback. But that offense looked like hot garbage.
Oh yeah,
him.
most definitely. All right, where are we at here?
We're at number 13, excuse me, and that's Jahan Dotson, also of Washington.
You got three Washington receivers. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your damn? You don't have Cooper Kupp in your 16, but you have Dotson.
I only have 2.
And Samuel. Have you lost your mind, John?
I only have 2. I only have 2, Eli, in my top 16.
You don't have McLaurin?
Because, like I said, I think Dotson is going to overtake him this year. And there's not enough room in that offense for 3 wide receivers.
You're lucky I got to do cardio. You're lucky I got to do cardio after this. Because I still have half that bottle of Jameson that I've been sipping on the last few episodes. And that would be gone. That would be dealing with you. I can't.
This one is, let me put this way. Whichever one of them is the number 1, that's their spot. So that's either Terry or it's Dotson. I think Dotson overtakes him, therefore he gets the spot. But that's where I would put Terry if he keeps up what he's been doing.
Real Muto, the catcher from the Phillies that got ejected yesterday. That's going to be you, Chad. You're going to get ejected. There's going to be no confusion. Oh no, did I pass you the ball? Did I not pass you the ball? No. This is man. Oh God. I'm gonna be okay. Jamie, please give me your list, please. I have to.
No. I have number 2. I have a 12 here. I'll count it. I got a 12.
Oh
Give
no,
me Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. What? He's not even gonna beat out Michael Gallup in targets. What? Are you out of here? You lost your mind.
You may be right, and maybe then it'd be Gallup here, but I think Cooks can be a real good volume wide receiver too in that offense. CD's going to be double teamed all the time.
Yeah, Cooks will be the number 2 guy there. I mean, Gallup will get a little bumped down, but
Cooks is very much in the KJ Osborne to Justin Jefferson's Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, pretty much. I was thinking about maybe putting him in that number 3 role because that's where I kind of see him. He didn't do much with with the Texans much. He was their their number 1 guy there, but overall, I mean, he stat wise, you can see him being a
Jerry Rice wouldn't have done anything in that Texans offense.
Jerry Rice maybe he would have had 1,000 yards. But with their quarterback that they had, oh yeah, he would have had 1,000 yards, even though he was a mediocre.
What happened to your boy? What happened to Chad's boy Nico Collins? Now that we're supposed to be NFC talking here, but he had to bring up the Texans. What about your boy Nico Collins, huh? Thought he was a gamer. I thought he was a top 15 guy, huh? Lies, Chad. Lies.
Am I missing something? Is Houston in the NFC?
No, where he was trying to poke prods at you that with the whole.
I was like, did Nico? I'm like the way he said. I'm like, did Nico Collins get traded to an NFC team? Did I miss this?
No.
I love Nico Collins.
Help!
Nico Collins also isn't going to have the ghost of Davis Mills at quarterback this year.
I like Davis Mills just because
I
he was
loved him. I thought he was going to break out. I thought it was a great move they kept him because he showed like something.
he had like
Like, he was really
3,000
good
some
down
odd.
the stretch the year before.
Yeah, he showed something for the San Antonio Brahmas. Davis Mills is either
Like,
going to be a third stringer somewhere or an XFL quarterback. That's
he
where
was
he
a
belongs.
legitimate fantasy guy down the stretch in 21.
And until they didn't know what the hell they were doing
Help,
anymore.
Jamie, help.
And he just does, whether it's just the sophomore slump or he just overplayed down the stretch.
All right, so
Just fell apart.
who's your number 11 guy here, Chad?
That's different list.
Different list.
This is 16 through 12.
Well, Eli's got 11, but either way.
Oh, I didn't. I can't even see him. He's so. It's so like it's black and white on the screen. It just blends in there.
Yeah.
Man, this is.
Well, we can come back.
Give me Darnell Mooney.
Darnell Mooney. All right, sounds good. I mean, he's not a bad pick at all.
Just naming random people at this point.
All right. Well, we'll do my 12 through 16 here. I got Evans at the bottom. I got Christian Watson at 15. I got DJ Moore at 14. I got D Hop at 13, and I got Lockett at 12. Yeah, actually, honestly, I was gonna have D Hop out of. So what happened is when I was writing all these guys down, trying to figure out where I wanted everything. Actually, I misplaced it.
Diop would have been my 11, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to list him because I don't think he's going to be in the NFC.
Yeah, as of now, this is where he's at. I just, D Hop. I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank yet. I just think if they can get their shit together, D Hop is way better than freaking Marquise Brown. So I mean, D Hop's got he is the better talent. He was plagued with a few injuries. I just think D Hop is a little bit better than DJ Moore, Watson. You can kind of say he's almost the same level as Mike Evans, but I think D Hop's got a little bit more left in the tank. I like Christian Watson. I just think that Christian Watson is going to evolve from what he did last year. DJ Moore, I don't know. I was debating on if to have a man or not, but with him, going to a different team, I think he's got something to prove. He had 7 touchdowns. Not quite 1,000. I think he had a 1,000-yard season. I'd have to double check on that quick here. Did he? Nope, he had 800 yards or so, rough, give or take. But I think DJ Moore's got something to prove. I like Lockett here. Lockett's, I think they're Seattle's got. I think they're going to be a team to kind of be reckoning with. They were pretty good last. They were pretty good last year. They're going to be good this year. So I got Lockett at 12. So I think Lockett is a guy who's going to be a little bit underrated again this year. But yeah, those are mine.
Good list. I'll have Watson a little higher when we get to that, but yeah, I mean I get it.
A fun fact about Nuck. I once got ridiculed, and I'm still getting ridiculed to this day for trading him away as part of a package for Justin Jefferson. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts.
No. Who did you package?
I gave away Mike Evans, Nuck, Joe Mixon, and I can't remember. I think Josh Jacobs was the other one. So it was huge.
You gave up that for Justin Jefferson?
But 2 years removed from that, Nuck's a shell. Mike Evans is basically and Nuck got suspended before being a shell. Evans was bad. That's DeAndre Hopkins. That's his nickname.
Oh yeah, Nuke. Well, Nuke. Yeah, it's Nuke. Yeah. I mean, overall, honestly, you're pretty much getting a better. I mean, maybe
Mixon can't stay healthy.
But you gave up.
I wasn't expecting Josh Jacobs last year.
So you
that
pretty
came
much
out of nowhere.
So you pretty much gave up almost more in value.
Those are like 4. Jamie, those are like 4 starters.
But yeah,
I also got Dawson Knox. who I flipped for.
You're probably talking dynasty here. So,
Yeah, it was Dynasty.
overall, I mean,
I
Hopkins.
also
Yeah.
got Dawson Knox, who eventually became Kenneth Walker.
So I mean, in turn, you did get some value back in the running back. You gave up
sounds a
2
little
running
better.
backs. So I mean, overall, I mean,
you got young JJ, you got young Kenneth Walker for Jacobs.
But
Evans
Joseph,
and
without that,
Dynasty. Okay, that's a little bit. It sounds a little better.
The crazy thing is Jefferson and Knox outperformed the 4 of them combined last year because of how bad Nuck and Evans were.
Well, yeah. I mean, Evans he still did 1,000 yards either way. I mean, he's been producing 1,000-yard seasons.
It shows how good Justin Jefferson is and why he's going to be number 1 on all 3 of our lists.
Oh, more than likely.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, let's get into those 6 through 10, Eli. Let's get to your next set of rankings.
It's got to be.
Why are you showing my ranking? What the hell are you doing, man?
I'm sorry. It was a sneak preview. It was a sneak preview there. Here we go. Okay. Brandon Ayuk, underrated, man. I double checked the stats from last year. 78 grabs, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Those are good numbers. And Brock Purdy seemed to have a rapport with him. I know McCaffrey's going to dig into that, and Kittle, a lot of the weapons. Debo, if he's healthy, he's going to dig into that. But I don't see why he can't repeat that and be a 1,000-yard guy. DK Metcalf, stud. Not upper echelon, but stud. Gonna get you 1,000. Gonna put up his numbers. I don't see any regression next year from Geno. I think Lockett and Metcalf are gonna replicate it pretty close. McLaurin, you're out of your mind, Chad. You're crazy. This man, automatic 1,100-yard guy. 4 seasons in the league. On average, about 1,100 yards. Whatever you got. Like 6, 7 touchdowns. I mean, this guy. I'll take that. You can work with this, especially at receiver 2. I can work with that 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Christian Watson. This is kind of the hot take here, I guess. And I would. Well, you talked about St. Brown, and because I think he's got the highest potential. I think Watson is boom or bust. It's like in the draft with Richardson and. Well, I don't like Levis, but it's the same kind of comp. Like Watson could get you 14 touchdowns, or he could get you like 3 or 4. You don't know, but I'm willing to gamble that when I saw that little sample size last year, that maybe there's something to that. And Jordan Love seems more dedicated. He's got a better arm than Rodgers at this point, and maybe he tears it up. And obviously, Chris Olave, my man, he's number 6, and he might be at. This is like, to me, this is Garrett Wilson NFC, or Garrett Wilson of the AFC. This is his comp, because I could see this guy blowing up through the roof. I mean, I could see this guy easily jumping into the top 5, especially with Derek Carr getting him the ball. So a lot of the list that that Jamie brought up that picture earlier, these are a lot of those guys, a lot of those 4 guys are coming up on this list, and there's a reason for that. These are high end number 2s. Even if you guys feel differently about Watson, like these are the high end guys. So. I think McLaurin, like I said, he's going to do his thing. DK, a lot of these guys can replicate what they did, and I think Watson is boom or bust. And Olave will take the next. I think Olave's going to add an extra 150 yards and probably an extra 10 or 11 catches next year.
Sweet. Yeah,
Chad's speechless. He doesn't know what to. He's probably drafting right now, but he doesn't know what to say.
No, I'm just saving my thoughts for my list.
Yeah, I mean, this is not bad at all. I mean, I like you can add at 10. McCaff is he's probably due. I mean, he's reckoning for another 1,000-yard. Hopefully his touchdowns go up a little bit more. I like McLaurin there. Watson is. I had him a little bit lower, but I think Watson He's got something to prove. He should be their number one guy. Dobbs will be their number two guy. So I think they need to add some wide receiver depth, but Watson should be the go-to guy. I don't mind Olave there either as well. I think he's just going to add to what he did this season. I think maybe 1,200, maybe.
Yeah, no, easily. Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I think he can get the 13. He's not gonna touch He's not gonna touch 17, 1800 like Jefferson, but who would?
But I know. I think 1,200 realistic wise, 1,200 I think is a good play. Good place for him to get to. Anyways.
Are we talking about Olave?
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
Tomato, Chad.
I think just like with Justin Jefferson, 2000 is in play, maybe even more so than Jefferson. There's just no one else there.
They've openly talked about it. Those old LSU boys, Jefferson and Chase. They've talked like, "Hey, we want to hit 2000." So I mean,
Jefferson's gonna do it.
I think Chase will get there before him. Yeah, I think Chase gets there before him though.
Chase will do it, but it's gonna be after the other wide receivers fall off around him.
I don't know about that one.
Because the way the offense is, it spreads the ball just a little too much. It caps his yardage overall.
Yeah. I know. I just,
Not a lot. Maybe 2 years from now, because Boyd will be gone by then.
I think they have the weapons. Either way. Maybe Boyd have to be gone for him to get that 2,000s, and them have to bring in a rookie or something like that, possibly. But I mean, even if they didn't, if they had the crew they got, if Jefferson or not, if Chase can do what he
Mixon being gone will also be, if and when Mixon's gone, and that'll be soon enough. That's another big boost.
That's if it
more targets.
That's if and when too as well. So, but yeah, we should let's get into your 10 through 6 there and see what you got, Chad, for us.
All right, number 10, Eli's going to be sad and angry.
I usually am. Yeah.
We're going to go with Deebo Samuel over Brandon Ayuk. And not have Ayuk on the list at all. I think we get one more year of Deebo being Deebo. And I think if that's the case, Ayuk doesn't eat enough to be one of these guys. Especially with the potential... But the potential revolving door quarterback. And if Ayuk gets traded, I'm worried it's going to be to a place.
I was going to say, if it's Dynasty, though, you're moving off Deebo. I mean,
if it's Dynasty.
No long term.
Although I'm not huge on
year to year.
I was never huge on Ayuk either, though. But I
just Purdy. It comes down to who's going to be the quarterback.
I don't think he's going to be there.
We thought it'd be Jimmy
I think Ayuk gets traded, like it's rumored. I don't know where he gets traded to, but I think he gets traded.
If he does get traded, then he's gonna
maybe in a deal for DeAndre Hopkins and some extra stuff.
If he goes to Arizona, I mean he's done.
That'd be worse for him. That'd be a lot worse for him.
Yeah, no, you actually have you actually honestly probably have a better chance with Brock Purdy, like putting up stuff with. I don't trust Kyler's gonna be gone half the year, and you don't know his interest level. Like, he should just stay where he's at. He probably wants more money, like everybody else. Probably a money thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to be paid, and they've got a lot of mouths to feed. So, but yeah, he's better off just staying where he's at.
Yeah, that's a given. All right.
Next up, give me DJ Moore.
That's your number 9?
Yep, I think the volume is just going to be too good. What he does. And then let me look back at my notes. I changed it twice. So I got to find the most recent one. Sorry for being...
Give me liberty or give me death!
I like saying. Make sure this is the newest one.
He's got to make sure he's got the right tab open now with all those gazillion tabs open.
It's got Pornhub, free baseball drafts,
Yep.
QVC,
Chatter. He's got
Amazon,
that. He's got that chatterbait going on.
Chatterbait.
Give me Jameson Williams.
So he's your number 8. Okay.
Yep.
Oh my!
Eli's gonna have a heart attack over here.
Give me a Monra at 7.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
I think that offense it's gonna be really good. And
Done yet?
this is where it gets sketchy. No, I got one more.
Eli's all like
the muddy's the water is already murky. I don't think you can get any.
Where the personalities do come out.
I lost the guy. Like it's just blank. I'm like, what? Who got deleted?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened.
I must have had Cup in this at one point. Moved everyone down, just messed up. So give me one sec.
Yeah, see, that's what happened to me when I was actually writing down my guys. Right, 1 through 16, and 17 through 32. And I was writing in. I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell did I do here? It's like, oh shit, I forgot a guy. I'm like, god damn it.
Yeah. Copy paste.
Yep. This was all handwritten notes. I was trying to figure out who I wanted, and it's just like, oh my god. Because if you look at this, this is, whew.
Drake London. That's who it was.
Drake London. What? He's got Desmond Ritter throwing him the damn ball.
Again, it's another one of the. It depends on the quarterback.
It's Desmond Ritter. As they said today, Desmond Ritter is their starting quarterback.
And how many times has a team said that, and then in the draft they trade for a quarterback?
I don't see the Falcons trading to get a quarterback. It's going to be a lower tier quarterback if it is.
I think we just lost like 3 viewers right there. Just when Chad's saying that
Lamar would make a ton of sense there.
Well, Lamar would make sense there, and then
Lamar and Cordero Patterson together.
And I think that whole thing is going to be kind of wish-wash. I don't think him being a wide running back, him being a running back, wide receiver. I think that's done. That combination is done.
But I think Ritter. I mean, I'm hoping Ritter can take enough of a step forward to make London what he was before.
Oh, it'll be baby steps. It'll be. Oh, he threw 130 in a pick this week. Oh, next week. Oh, maybe 150, a touchdown and a pick. Those are gonna be his steps. This guy is terrible.
Even more than last year, there is no one else to throw to. This is why
they're tanking. You're not a dumb guy. You know what they're tanking for Caleb Williams and Drake May. This Falcons team is abysmal. They're worse than the Texans. They're going to be worse than us. They're going to be worse than the Bears. I mean, this is a bad football team.
Their weapons are way better than the Texans' weapons.
I don't know about that.
Are way.
Collins
is close.
Come talk to me after the draft. It's gonna. If anything, it's closer, especially if the Texans take like Bryce Young or
I'm talking about last year's weapons. I'm talking last year's weapons.
Last year, yeah. Well, yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, but
the current weapons they have now is way better than what Texans rolled out. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was. 50-50 on that because London was their only guy.
I'm optimistic Pitts will take a step forward. I don't think he's going to get to that top 3 or 4 that he should be, but I think he'll do enough to take defenses off of Drake London, so Drake London will get 90 yards and a touchdown, 85 yards and a touchdown week in and week out.
So you had London. As your number 6 guy.
Yes.
Okay.
I originally had him as my 5, and I didn't want to give Eli a heart attack.
Woo, Dolly, man, this is.
I believe in the talent.
I'm gonna need a resuscitation.
I mean, London is good. I just don't think London's better than McLaurin or Metcalf. I don't see him. I don't see him being better than Watson.
If we
That's
were to
just me.
expand this list, honestly, if we were to expand this list, he'd be 18.
My list is expanded all the way up to 32.
So much of PPR is volume. Who was it there? Was a former Bucks guy, wasn't it? Or the current Bucks. It was Russell Gage, wasn't it? 2 years ago?
Yeah, Gage was their number.
He was like a wide receiver 2.
Gage was their number 2 with Ridley. They had Ridley there as well.
Exactly. And Gage was putting up monster numbers for his
I wouldn't say monster.
For his ADP. Like, this guy was unrostered.
Well,
he
yeah,
was
of
putting
course.
up wide receiver 2 and 3 numbers.
Yeah.
Week in and week out. Because he was getting all the targets.
I have London actually ranked 17th, so he's out of the top 16. So that's where I kind of that's
like that on paper.
Me and Jamie, we're aware of this. You're not. We're aware of this.
On paper, in the offense, you're probably right. I'm going to believe in the volume plus the talent.
I
think if the ball gets into his hands, he'll do enough with it to overcome how bad Ritter is. I think the ball's gonna be in his hands often enough.
I mean, that's if that does happen. If Ritter can't do the job, I don't see London being a top 15 or top 20 guy.
Jay, how does that affect Kyle Pitts, who we all going into last season after his rookie year, we all thought, okay, this guy is 4th or 5th best tight end. He shit the bed. He was hurt, and he shit the bed when he was on the field. It's hurting Kyle Pitts. Being in this abysmal offense, this passing offense, hurt Kyle Pitts. You don't think it's not going to hurt Drake London?
Here's the thing, though.
Chad!
There's a wild card here, and his name is Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, that's if he does get to that point, but
it's gonna get. If Ritter is bad, it's getting to that point.
He will be.
Ritter's not going to have a long leash.
But
Heineke's going to see the field. Heineke will see the field.
What week is it going to be? Is it week 6, week 7, week 8? When is that going to be though?
When it is,
when the playoffs are already set in our league.
London's going to go from no, because they have no defense, so they can have an offense and still lose every week.
Yeah, I don't see the Falcons.
London will go from struggling
30
for 85 yards. They'll be going from 9 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown to 9 catches for 115 yards and 2 TDs with Heineke.
I just don't. With Ritter, I don't see their offense putting up 30 points a game. Heineke maybe
with Ritter,
20, maybe 20-ish, 25-ish points per game. But
you could write this. I'm going to look right in the camera when I say this to you, Chad. You can write this down. Drake London will only have one 100-yard game all season. He will have one.
There's a hot take for you. Write that down. Write that down, Eli.
I'll bet you a beer on that one.
I'll bet you something stronger, big boy. This Falcons off. I mean, this is 2-15 written all over it. This is Arthur Smith getting fired. Their heads will roll because of this 2023 Falcons offense.
Please here's the thing: if they start 0-6 and he's fired, then that could improve the offense. Although I don't know if it helps Drake London, Arthur Smith getting fired would help Kyle Pitts immensely.
I agree. Arthur Smith I would have fired him after the end of last season, but apparently they like the guy. I don't know.
I don't even think he's a bad coach. He's just not utilizing what he has.
That sounds like a bad coach to me. Jay, please save me.
It's not so much he's a system coach, and he's not in the right place for the system. So he's a bad coach for it.
He's an offensive coordinator. Let's cut it. He's
a defensive coordinator the way he coaches offense.
All right, we got to get this wrapped up, boys, because
the tight ends coach.
We are running out of time, so yeah, we got to get to that point where we got to get to our top 5 as well. So, and we got to get to the book of Eli. So we got to get this on the road. So I got Godwin at number 11. I got Olave in the top 10. I got Yukon at 9. I just think Yukon is just a little bit better than Debo. Debo, with the fact that they had CMC coming in there and pretty much taking that whole run game combination away from Debo. So that just tickers down Debo. He's pretty much he's limited. So Ayukin, I think, is a little bit better than Debo at this point right now. I like DK at 8. I think he's just going to repeat of what they did. I got Cooper Cup at 7. He's out of the top 5 right now. I just depending on what is going to happen with them, they don't have crap for wide receivers. I think Allen Robinson, he's out the door. They have maybe a few other no-namer guys that are down there as well. They didn't do crap. Cup had a poor season last season. Their quarterback situation was just garbage. And then I got Devontae Smith at 6.
Cooper Cup is so good, Chad, that Jamie replaced the C with a K. Okay, because he's the K Cup. He's throwing strikeouts. He's throwing strikeouts, Chad.
Look at that.
And records, Chad. And you don't even have him in your top 16, you man.
Yeah, we got K Cups all over the place.
I told you if I knew when he was going to play, I'd put him at number 2 or 3.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any likes or dislikes with this?
No, solid. Yeah.
Chad?
I think Godwin's probably, and maybe Metcalf and Godwin's. I wouldn't put it. I just don't trust it.
I just think Godwin will be the better overall target monster compared to Mike Evans. Godwin had more.
I worry they end up with a rookie wide receiver somewhere along the way.
Well, if they do, they do. But I mean, either way, I mean, Godwin's going to be the guy that.
I also think if Baker is toast, which I have faith, I have a little faith because I liked what he showed in LA, but I still think it's going to be the Kate Otten show there.
Give or take.
The kid's good. He ain't Gronk or prime Gronk. He ain't.
Yep. I think he's Kittle good though.
No. He might be like Dalton Schultz good, but not. I mean, Kittle.
Or Ertz.
A couple years ago, Kittle.
Ertz good would be what Ertz would be the comparison. Prime Ertz.
I think Zach Ertz was damn good. I think go a little bit lower. Maybe Dalton Schultz. I mean, that's a little more realistic for.
All right.
Let's get the top.
All right, let's get into your top 5, and then we'll.
All right, boys. You bet. Of course, JJ at 1, AJ at 2, no question there. I don't know how you couldn't have CeeDee Lamb at 3. I mean, another guy just produces, had over 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. I look at the big catches too. He was third, right behind AJ and Jefferson, had 20-plus yard receptions. So he's getting the big plays. These are the 3 guys that are getting the big plays, putting up the yards, the targets. They check all the receiver boxes. These 3 guys are elite. Cooper Kupp, when he's on the field, if he comes back healthy, we know the volume's going to be. Hopefully, he'll be there. Stafford, it's up in the air, but you think that the Rams aren't going to roll out there with John Wolford or whoever the hell else. McVay's got a little more pride in that. These are world champions, a couple years ago. So I think they'll find a quarterback, and Cooper Kupp, if he's healthy, will get back on track. And then St. Brown, I think he's going to, I think he's the number 1 guy in Detroit. I think he's solidified that. And, Jared Goff is going to have another solid year getting him the ball. And, I think the Lions, if Jared's still around, I think the Lions can win 11 or 12 games. I don't think that's out of the question. So, and
they're the favorite. I saw they're the betting favorites by quite a lot to win
that division. I hadn't seen the betting, but that sounds about right.
It at least before I think with the DJ Moore trade, the Bears took that spot and jumped ahead.
It's gonna be
they're both like favored to make the playoffs.
It's going to be an interesting NFC North. That's for dang sure.
I had them winning the division last year, and I damn near I was a 1 game away from. I'm sure you remember that, Jamie.
It's yeah, possibly, yeah, because
I
it's
was
the
one game away. They needed
I
to
think
break the
so.
right way for them to make it, and I
Yeah,
was so sad when that didn't happen. But everything I said about them was true. Jared Goff is a legitimate quarterback. Dan Campbell
I
is one of, if not the best player coaches in the league.
Yeah,
yeah,
without a question.
I think
Master
they're
motivator.
yeah, I think the Rams kinda
That
messed up with that
offense is good.
situation.
The defense let them. It's not the offense is not a question. The defense, I was shocked at how bad the defense was last year.
They're getting bit
Jeff
they're
Okuda, Jeff Okuda ended up
Yep,
being nothing. Like so many of the guys we thought were good draft picks just did not pan out. They're going
yep,
to get another crack at that this year. They brought guys in. That team's a contender, not just to win the division. That is a win the NFC, go to the Super Bowl contender because that offense can light up the scoreboard against any team.
yeah. I just think that the Rams made a mistake letting, trading Goff at that time, but, it just goes to prove that, a guy going to a
No,
different team a guy
I
going
don't
to a
know.
different team, can, evolve his game a little bit more. It's just
It's
proven.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even that he evolved his
Jared Goff's
game.
gonna have 30. He's gonna
It's
have
just
30
such a different
touchdowns.
offense.
He's gonna have Jameson Williams will get, St. Brown's gonna get
Yeah.
8 or 9 of them. Jameson Williams probably gets 6 or 7. The tight end, the young
Montgomery,
tight ends they got.
Mhm.
yeah, Montgomery will eat Swift will
Yeah,
eat if he's still there.
Mm. But all right, Chad, let's get into your top
And I
5.
just wanted quickly with the Stafford thing. I agree
Yeah.
with you, Eli, that they're not going to just run out. Well, I'm worried though they're going to try to make Stafford work. He's going to take one bad hit with his back,
one bad hit, he's done. I mean, we
Yeah.
can agree on that.
and then they're stuck trading
more.
for your favorite guy, Zach Wilson.
Don't say it. Don't you
Uh,
say it. Don't you say his name.
There's
Say
going
his
to be
name in
nothing
vain.
else out there.
uh,
I'm right though that they're going to if it's like week 3, they're just going to have to trade for someone's backup. The Jets will give them away cheap, and then they tank they join the team.
Trey Lance.
I don't think they would do in division. I don't think the 49ers would do in division though.
That's a good point, but Trey Lance is there to be had. They're basically shopping him right now. So, but yeah, go ahead, get your
number 1, Justin Jefferson. It's gonna be Justin Jefferson for the next 8 years, minimum.
Market.
Number 2 is Chris Olave. It might be him number 2 for the next 8 years, or at least it's however long Derek Carr is there at quarterback. Number 3 for me, this is where we change. Well, not really change. I still have AJ ahead of CD, but I have AJ at 3 and CD at 4. The reason I have CD at 4 is you make good points, but I'm going to bring back the fact that Brandon Cooks is there now, and that takes away the smallest amount. The smallest amount. It's not going to eat away like Cooper did, but it's going to eat enough.
You forget though, Chad. Dalton Schultz is out the door, and Ferguson is not quite at that level. So I think
they're
the
a favorite to draft a tight end. And I'm expecting.
But that doesn't mean. We forget how good Dalton Schultz was before last year. Though, like the 3 previous years, like Dalton Schultz was a top 10 tight end. Like he's a damn good tight end.
But
so you're
Kincaid and Mayer both are top 10 caliber.
Yeah, but it usually takes tight ends. Most rookie tight ends don't pop. Not everybody's Kyle Pitts. That where they pop.
But they're going to get the targets. They're going to get the opportunity to pop. And when we're talking 3 through 6, 3 through 7, it's a margin of 10, 15 points, usually, is the gap these are in. And that's a couple of catches, 25 yards, like between some of these guys, or a touchdown between some of them. And so that's why I have AJ over CD, and then number 5, I have Devonta. I think we get one more showcase year of AJ Devonta. I'm more sold on Devonta long term than I am on AJ. I never like to buy into big physical guys like AJ for as long as
He's still young though. This is only going to be his 5th season. I mean, if this was like year 8, 9, then yeah, I'd agree.
This is the point where I try to sell high on him. After one more year of this, I try to get the next AJ Brown out of it.
In
Dynasty,
yeah. Dynasty, you have to operate like an NFL GM would. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sell high. Absolutely.
I mean, no NFL GM's getting rid of AJ Brown anytime soon.
No, that's malpractice. I mean, they need to pull your fantasy license for that. But yeah, after the year, I mean,
absolutely. But I think Devonta still could be like Olave level.
Got some of the drops though, but yeah, no, I get what you're.
And he's got that. I didn't expect the instant chemistry that Hurts and AJ had. They love each other. That's helped a lot of this.
They were teammates.
Devonta, was AJ there too?
No, AJ was at Ole Miss. No,
that's what I'm saying. Devonta, I believe in that long term.
Oh, of course.
As AJ gets older, that Devonta is going to outplay his talent, and his talent's damn good to begin with.
Oh yeah, he was. He was doing stuff way before even AJ Brown even got there. But I mean, AJ.
But this is the group here.
AJ Brown coming in is only he only amped up Devontae Smith's his plane. So I mean, if you look at Smith had 15 more receptions than AJ Brown, but I mean, in long term wise, AJ Brown had the yardage wise, just because he's a big stout.
Like I said, because Devonta is the bulk yardage, and then he opens it up, and AJ just comes over the top and just catches a wide open 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
But really, with my 5, and then you throw in Cooper Kupp, and even Amon-Ra St. Brown, if that's your first wide receiver or your second wide receiver, you're fine in any redraft league. You're perfectly happy with that, depending on where you're.
Yeah, the first round, if it it just depends on where everything kind of lands. If Lamb's there or St. Brown, I mean, if you think about Jefferson, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb probably off the board. Kupp maybe might fall a little bit. So I mean, it's very possible. But we plan on doing I plan on, Chad, if you want to be involved in this too. I want to do a mock draft after the NFL draft. Just to kind of see where some of these rookies might kind of fall into play and whatnot after everything. So I plan on doing a mock draft too as well. So I mean, this will probably end up live streaming, and we can commentate at the same time too. So if you're up for it,
I wish we had a little more time. I would have prepped you to do this, but it would be cool to do a if or with Eli here. I'm gonna give him one. Just, would you rather have CD or Tyreek? I believe you put Tyreek 3 on your.
This year might be odd. God, by the slimmest of margins, Tyreek.
I think we all agree Justin Jefferson over Jamar.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jefferson's number 1 overall. I mean, that's no brainer.
Yeah, give or take. I mean,
I don't know where to put an AJ.
I like
with the AFC guys.
Yeah, I got AJ at 3. I got him right behind. I think he's better than Devontae Adams, in my opinion. I think AJ would be 3. I got Chase.
So that's who you would compare him to, is Devontae on the other side. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yep. So I do the kind of ping pong, but
all right,
it's a good list here. I like Chase.
Yep. So I got McLaurin at 5. I got St. Brown at 4. I got AJ Brown at 3. I got CeeDee Lamb.
DeMario Lamb. DeMarcus.
I got Lamb at 2, and
Dante.
I got Jefferson. I got Jefferson at 1.
Make you lamb chop. You keep making.
Yeah, it's that D Lamb time. It's like, bam, here we come, boys. But I know I just think Lamb. It was kind of give or take. Lamb, AJ Brown. These guys are pretty similar. I mean, AJ Brown It's yardage wise, reception wise, these guys are pretty similar. AJ Brown's a little bit taller. I mean, so you could either put, if it came to this wise, Lamb or Brown, 2 or 3, either way. So I mean, it's just give or take. Jefferson's always going to be that hard take. Wide receiver on the NFC side of things. I think McLaurin. I like McLaurin. I think his situation is just going to get better. I like McLaurin at 5. St. Brown. He's their go-to guy down there. I like the fact that he's a smaller, nimble kind of guy. With Jameson Williams coming in, I think that's going to change just a little bit. But I mean, I like St. Brown with just overall. In most PPR leagues, so he's gonna be that dude. He's gonna be the reception leader with the Lions. I think Williams will come in at number 2 when it comes to receptions. Maybe Williams might have a little bit more touchdowns, but overall, I like I like Brown at 4, and so these are kind of my top 5.
I don't have any. I don't have any complaints. Like I said, I have Watson a little higher. You have McLaurin a little higher. So it's kind of personal preference. Chad's got a lot of people a little higher, but yeah, no, I like Jay's 5.
Yeah. I know Chad's going to have a few dislikes with this, but that's everybody's opinion.
There is a name we left off this list that probably could have been in that 16 range, depending on who the quarterback is. But there was talks today that Frank Reich wants to turn DJ Shark into not just a deep threat guy, but widen his tree.
I don't know if his expiration date is past. I was looking at the Panthers too, because I'm trying to, some of these teams that didn't have any representation on the 16. I was trying to, like the Giants and a couple other teams. I was trying to find a reason to put like one per team, and it's just hard. Carolina, I think you're onto this. You're onto something. I think DJ Shark should be their number 1 guy, because Adam Thielen's a little long in the tooth, and Terrence Marshall, he's a 2 or 3, probably a solid 3 receiver on a good team. But Chark, he made the Pro Bowl 2019. We thought he was going to be a stud, with Jacksonville, and just kind of injuries and ineffective play, just kind of. So I don't know if his value is just so low now. It's hard to buy into him ever being like an 1,100 yard kind of guy again.
The injury is a big thing, because even last year but last year he was on pace for a monster year for him
with Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's interesting. I mean, you get him cheap. I mean, you can get this guy cheap at the end of the draft.
The thing is, if with Frank Reich is a genius, I think we all agree. He might not be. I'm not sure on him as a head coach.
Not Andy Reid, but he's good. He's good.
But he's in that Sean McVay range, or Kyle Shanahan. I think he's in that Kyle Shanahan, like they turn weird guys into system guys that just work. And I think at his best, Chark ends up being a budget CeeDee Lamb.
If he can stay healthy, yeah. I mean, you can get he's a bargain. If you think St. Brown is going too high, that people are gonna like overdraft him. Well, Chark will be a guy that's underdrafted, and a couple other guys.
Like Chark's range is like worthless to like right on the cusp of the top 5. Because he's gonna have endless volume, and he's still gonna have the deep threat.
Yeah.
Calvin Ridley would be another good comparison.
I think Kevin Ridley
before.
Ridley.
Where Ridley could run over the top, but he had routes, cutting across. He was getting short balls, middle tier throws.
I think Ridley, I know he's back in the news for that. I think he's re-engaged in football. I think he learned from his mistakes. He's got his head clear. I think Ridley is going to blow some people. Him and Kirk are going to blow some people away next year. That Jacksonville offense, I mean, they're going to be right up there with Kansas City. I mean, they're going to win probably 13 games. That's going to be scary with Ingram, Kirk, focused Calvin Ridley.
The hot take here, I'd rather have that offense than Miami's offense.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that Jacksonville. I mean, if you want to buy on something for the next couple of years, that Jacksonville offense.
Yeah.
Like Hill and Waddle are definitely going to be better than Kirk and Ridley. It's not by a huge margin though.
Maybe for another year after that. I mean, Tyreek.
Then he'll fall off.
He'll
Yeah.
fall off. Yeah. Like,
But give me Etienne over anyone. I mean, I like Jeff Wilson. I like Mostert. Etienne's infinitely better than them. He's a potential like number one running back type.
All right, boys.
And obviously, give me Ertz way over. There's no one Miami can throw out there.
All right, boys. Let's recap here real quick, and then we'll get into Book of Eli, and then
get up out of here. Jay's got to get to work.
Yep, I got some food to eat. I got some food to eat that's ready. Yep. So, Chad, go through yours real quick.
Oh, fuck.
Rapid fire, Chad. Bang, 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 bang. Go.
I close this list. Just skip me.
Yeah, go ahead, Eli. We'll come back to Chad.
Okay. DJ Moore rounds it out. Evans, Samuel, Lockett, Godwin, and Devontae Smith. Brandon Ayuk and DK Metcalf, McLaurin, Watson, and Ola, whatever you want to say. He's damn good. And the top five, we got Mr. St. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Lamb, Brown, and JJ at 1.
Awesome. You ready, Chad? No, he is not.
Just if you want to see my picks, you're gonna have to listen on the actual podcast. Rewind if you have to.
All right. I got Evans at 16, Watson at 15, DJ Moore at 14, D Hop at 13. I got Lockett at 12, and then I got Godwin at 11, Chris Olave at 10, Ayukin at 9, DK at 8. I got Cooper Kupp at 7. I got Devontae Smith at 6. I got McLaurin at 5. St. Brown at 4, AJ Brown at 3. I got CeeDee Lamb at 2, and I got Justin Jefferson at number 1. So I guess everybody, Chad is not going to recap his real quick. So
I can't remember them.
No, it's all good. So let's get into the Book of Eli, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Oh no!
There we go. Let's do this a little better. I'm not blind. But Chad will get me there eventually. Some of his takes. The Book of Eli, NCAA Final Four. I don't know if everybody's been watching so far. Too many upsets. That I had a gripe. This is my gripe session. This is when I get to rant on whatever they want. UConn v. Florida. I think it's going to be a good game. Better rings and be a better overall game. UConn. I had them going to like the Sweet 16. Miami, Florida, same thing. I had about Sweet 16, Elite 8. I didn't see either of these teams getting into the Final Four. I think it's going to be a damn good game. I think the winner of this game is going to win the national championship. But on the other side, I don't see any, like, if you're not an alumnus of San Diego State or Florida Atlantic, I don't see the interest there. It's not the problem this year is there's too many underdogs. I think if you had 3 blue blood programs, like if you had a UConn, a Kansas, and a North Carolina, and you had a Florida Atlantic, it's kind of the underdog David Goliath story. I think this would work a hell of a lot better. But San Diego State, I mean, that was their first Elite 8. So regardless of their first Final Four, Miami, Florida, first Final Four, FAU, obviously this was like probably their first game past the second round. It's just you need, in order to drive the ratings and in my opinion, to get people to tune in and to care, I think you need 1 underdog and 3 blue bloods. And this year you have 1 blue blood, 2, like 1 or 2 middle pack, and then 1 program nobody'd ever heard of before this tournament. So I think UConn is going to take the whole thing. I think they're going to beat Miami on Saturday, and then Monday I think they'll beat San Diego State for the title. And that's the Book of Eli. Open it up. Unless you guys have any comments, quick.
This is a lot like, and I actually disagree with you. If you remember 2011 when it was Butler and VCU.
Yeah, that game was terrible. That game,
well, no.
Butler Duke the year before that, the Butler Duke national title in 2010, that was fucking awesome. But
wasn't the Butler Connecticut one where Connecticut hit the game winner?
that was the
that different
2011. That was 2011. But you had a blue blood, is my point. You had a blue blood against.
But that was UConn, though.
No, UConn's the blue blood, and Butler was the
right.
underdog.
That's what I'm saying.
But like Butler VCU, that probably did terrible ratings. I'd have to like look back, but I can't remember caring about that game. Like you need or a couple years Loyola Chicago 2018 that they were like there, and there was a couple other blue bloods, and that did just fine. Like the 2018 Final Four, like it's just this year and with the way the brackets went down, how no number one seeds made it past the Sweet 16. You know, it's just a shitty year. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did some of the worst ratings for the Final Four. You know, because people have no interest. I mean, at this point, unless you're doing like per round or you're doing like a daily fantasy, like everybody's bracket is screwed. So there's nobody that's going for a perfect, for $1 million or whatever. You know, like there's nobody even in that conversation. So, but I thought I'd rant on that because I just know for me, I have no interest. Maybe I'll tune if it's UConn, San Diego State. That sounds like a pretty decent matchup. I might.
If you're a Madness guy and like really follow it, San Diego State, it's not that shocking that they made it. They're kind of like a Butler or VCU, that they've always been a threat to be the guy that runs to the Final Four, and it just hasn't come together. And FAU is just okay.
Hey, they went like 32-3. I mean, FAU. I mean, they had a damn good season. It's just the big thing this year was they pointed out in doing the seeding is like the gap between like the 4 seeds and the 16 seeds was not huge. That's why no one was really, even with it happening previously, no one was that surprised that 16 won. They were surprised which one won. But like no one really was that surprised. I wasn't surprised when Princeton beat a 2 seed.
That stuff is always going to happen. You're gonna have a 16 team upset a different team. I mean, that's like always
the gap between Princeton and we saw it with the run Princeton made. They did not seem, even when they finally lost, they did not seem overmatched. You think they'd finally get someone, they get blown out of the water? That didn't happen. They lost, but it was a tight game.
Yeah.
I think it's bad for college basketball. I really do. I think you need one team that's Cinderella, and then you need you need villains. You need Duke. You need UNC.
UConn's definitely the villain here.
UConn, UConn.
Yeah, that's a given.
I think you only need the one because there's going to be so much betting, and there already has been. I'm sure lines have shifted, and we've seen it. They'll show FAU before the tournament, after round 1, and people are just putting more and more money in. So there's enough people that have slowly put money into FAU winning, or into Miami winning, or into San Diego State winning. The degenerate gamblers are the ones that are going to push up the viewing for.
Well, they always do for gamblers are always going to be.
Yeah.
They'll watch They'll watch that shitty product, that shit that NASCAR put on Sunday. They'll watch that too. So
I got spoiled on it. And I didn't go back to watch it. The truck race was good though.
Yeah. So that's when this is my input on this. Even with FAU being a underdog in this situation, this gives them. It's almost like college football. If you think about look at Colorado. Look at what Deion's gonna be doing with that team. Everybody wants to be coming to that team. Everyone wants to come and play for Deion. I mean, now look at FAU. They're getting the spotlight. And this is gonna give them like, oh hey guys, look how good how good they were. This is just gives them airtime. It's almost like, hey, open invitation. Hey guys, come to our program. This is what we just did. So it's things like this that you'll see, just like Creighton. A lot of these smaller teams that, don't get the TV time. Hey, let's go to FAU. Let's get on TV.
I might have. If you've seen some of the cheerleaders, I might go to FAU.
But this March Madness is what kind of brings out smaller teams, get more representation of their program and stuff like that. So this can bring FAU. This is gonna boost up their recruiting and whatnot. Have basketball guys come into FAU. So this is just gonna bump up everything.
But like we're coming off a year. Last year was awful.
Yeah.
Great. The games were good, but it was 1 seed, 2 seed, and
But
11 seed. But that 11 seed was a legacy team
but
in UCLA.
yeah.
All right, that game was phenomenal, by the way. But
But
the year
if you
before,
think so, here's the thing. I mean, we're so used to seeing a lot of these traditional teams like Duke, UNC, a lot of these heavy hitters up in the
that
Sweet
was 2 years
16s.
ago. My bad.
So we're used to seeing a lot of these teams that are actually good in the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight. But now this year was way totally different. You don't see you don't see Houston in the Final Four. You don't see a Duke. So I mean, this year way different. So you don't see a Marquise, or VCU. So a lot of different teams playing with a lot of different hearts this year.
Yeah.
So
And last year was a 1 seed, two seeds, and then an 8 seed. But it's fucking North Carolina. It's like the strongest 8 seed you could have.
Yeah, and I loved last year's Final Four. This one I could give two shit.
Like
And
this,
Jamie,
this reminds me of
that Duke
this
UNC,
reminds
Coach K's last game, Chad. Coach K's last game against UNC. I mean, could you ask for a better storyline?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I
no
agree.
shit, right?
I was hooked. I was fucking hooked to the TV. I couldn't turn away.
Yeah.
But I'd argue who gets a shot at shocking the world between San Diego State and Florida Atlantic is a different storyline, but it's very compelling. Because whoever does that has a chance of history.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
wins that game. Like the best comparison I have besides the Butler VCU one would be the 2018 and 2017, where you had Oregon make their run. And 2018 obviously had Loyola Chicago, which was awesome.
Loyalette. Yeah, that's crazy.
And Michigan wasn't exactly, Michigan's no powerhouse when it comes to basketball.
Well, that's for damn sure.
Let's close this chapter, boys. Let's close it up.
Yep. Well, I appreciate everybody
Chad.
who. Yep, I appreciate.
I'll end on this. That
Yes.
that FAU San Diego State game will be more compelling than anything the XFL puts out this year.
And more than likely.
So
if you guys want to see our rankings, I'm going to be trying to get these guys to get their rankings to me. And if you're in our Discord, you'll see a lot of these rankings up in the Discord. So that's where you'll see a lot of these rankings. And I'll have to proc and prod at Chad to, get his list sent over to me. So, but yeah, other than that, we're gonna get up out of here, and hope everyone has a great Tuesday night. And Chad, you're always welcome again whenever you got the time for it. But yeah, other than that, I gotta get up out of here. So let's
thank you, boys. You have a good night. Everybody, thank you for listening. Love y'all. Man, we'll be back again next Tuesday with we haven't discussed yet what we're gonna hit. Jay will let you guys know if he's gonna do any baseball stuff tomorrow or be a part of the Bozo Fest. He'll keep you updated. So
speaking of which, I touched base with Govia. I'll be involved as well.
Ooh, Chad, you can hammer me with baseball. How's that sound? But yeah. Anyways, guys, if you're want to in tune, I'll be on that tomorrow. I'll probably get my ass prodded to me, but oh well, it is what it is. I'm still learning about baseball, and the more I learn, the better it is. I might just poke a little pride about him making fun of me with my pitcher from Minnesota that I took last year, my 20-man. So I'll probably give or take that a little bit and tell him I did not draft whoever it was I drafted. So, but all right, guys, we'll catch you all later, and we're out of here from Chad, Eli, and I. Have yourselves a good evening.